Did you know that even though there are tens of thousands of words in the English language, you really only need about 3,000 of them to say anything you need to say? I'm teaching 3,000 words in 3,000 days. Stick with me and you'll get a new word every day. Anymore, anymore. Anymore is a word that we use to talk about what was and what is. So it's a tense adverb. Anymore can mean now or currently or today, but it contrasts what was. For example, these pants don't fit her anymore. So before she was pregnant, they fit her, and now they don't. So anymore is a word that means now, but it's contrasting with what was previously. And when we get into adverbs, we're going to find a lot of grammar. Grammar comes because the words require us to use the grammar. But if you don't know the grammar, using the vocabulary will help you be understood. So if I use the word anymore correctly, even if my grammar is wrong, then people are going to understand me. So it means now, currently, or today. So before we move on to the examples, I want to make sure that you understand there are mistakes that you can make in English. The big mistakes are mistakes that stop someone from understanding what you mean. Usually, grammar mistakes are not big mistakes. I would say only in the case of the syntax of where you put your adjectives, that gets in the way of understanding, and prepositions. If you mix up your prepositions, pronouns. If you mix up your pronouns, that will stop people from understanding you. Adjectives in the wrong place. Pronouns that are wrong. Like if you say she instead of he, or she for it, those mistakes will make me not understand you. But most of the grammar mistakes are little mistakes. If you make them, it's not going to make a difference. For example, I speak German and Russian pretty well, and I speak Spanish not very well. In fact, I speak Spanish badly, but I have enough words that if I went to a Spanish-speaking country and I needed help, I could get the kind of help I need. Why? Not because I know the grammar, but because I have enough vocabulary. That's why I'm teaching vocabulary, because vocabulary is way more important than grammar. Pronunciation. If your pronunciation is bad, that gets in the way of comprehension. So pronunciation is a big mistake rather than a little mistake. Okay? So don't worry too much about your grammar. If you make a mistake, it's probably not a big mistake. The only time grammar mistakes are big mistakes is if the adjective is in the wrong place, so it's a syntax error, or you mixed up your pronouns, and now it's a vocabulary. So let's talk about anymore. Anymore talks about now, but it's comparing to what was in the past. I don't drink coffee anymore because it makes my anxiety worse. This means that you used to drink coffee. In the past, you drank coffee, but now it is not part of your habit. You don't drink coffee now. There is a change over time with the word anymore. She doesn't feel excited about the job anymore, even though she once loved it. So we're talking about a change over time. In a question, do people write letters anymore, or has everything gone digital? Now, if I use anymore here, I am asking a rhetorical question. This is a rhetorical question. It's a rhetorical question. I don't expect an answer. Instead, what I expect is for you to understand that I don't believe that people write letters anymore. Do people write letters anymore? Is this a thing? What I'm saying is this is not a thing. People don't write letters anymore. Gas is so expensive anymore that we rarely drive unless we have to. Okay, so in this sense, not every English will use this. Even in the United States, I would hear anymore used this way, probably in a more rural setting. You're not going to hear it in the cities. Gas is so expensive anymore. This, you could just substitute the word nowadays. Gas is so expensive nowadays that we rarely drive unless we have to. Anymore is a synonym for nowadays. When we use anymore, sometimes we are talking about the past and we're feeling nostalgic. The neighborhood doesn't feel safe anymore, and that makes him sad. I used to feel happy all the time, but I don't feel happy anymore. Okay? There's a sense of nostalgia. We miss what was in the past. With adverbs, you're not going to get all these parts of speech, especially adverbs of time or signal words. Anymore is a signal word that signals now. So it's going to be difficult to say what's the noun, what's the verb, what's the adjective. The adverb is anymore, and it's an adverb of time that tells us what tense we should be using. So instead of these things, we're going to talk a little bit about how or where we use it. Anymore is used with the present tense, okay? So if you're using anymore, it's with the present simple tense. I don't drink coffee anymore. That's the present simple tense. That means you have one verb and it's talking about your habits.
I really hope that you enjoyed this word. Use it 5 times today, write it down, commit it to memory, and I'll see you in the next lesson.